Welcome back, everybody, to the arcade journey. We're deep in the weeds now. I keep finding things on this junior Pac-Man that I think, oh, I gotta do that. It's not done yet. Keep finding things. So this is what we're gonna do. I thought I'd make a video on it because it's kind of cool. This is what happens a lot of times to the top of these machines, because you know, they didn't use plywood. They could have. I mean, they made the rest of the cabinet out of plywood, but it's like, hey, let's save a buck and we'll use particle board for the tops. I'd like to find that guy back in 1980 and kick him right square in the you-know-where. But anyway, that is what it is. So they look like this. Now, I've sanded this down. It's got some water damage, moisture damage, whatever. Something, you know, it's got mold growing in here. I mean, you know, it's not the greatest. This was broken clear through, so we taped it up from the bottom. Sanded it all down, and now we're going to get some fiberglass epoxy, and we're going to put a nice smooth coat over everything to make it beautiful again. And then before it's all said and done, we'll paint it, and it'll look super good. And we'll put some fiberglass in here and fill this all in and make it beautiful too. So it won't have a hole there. Of course, the switch is over here. Wonderfully, the switch still works fabulous, so we're not going to worry about that. I did put another monitor in this thing because we talked about that. It wasn't quite, you know, up to snuff. It's way better now. I did put the actual correct bulbs in here. It had, I don't know what they were. They were like appliance bulbs. They were close to the correct wattage, but they got really, really super hot. One thing about these is they distribute their heat really, really well. And they get warm, but you can reach up here after it's been on for an hour, and it's warm, but it's not, I mean, you can grab a hold of it. The other ones that were in there, man, it'd burn right through your finger. So those are the correct bulbs, or at least very close to the correct bulbs. Kind of hard to find. I found those at Lowe's. They still sell their 25-watt tube like that, and they work great. One of the few that still have the, you know, regular incandescent bulbs here. Right after this, of course, you know, like the Ms. Pac-Mans, they all have a, you know, a fluorescent bulb in there. So they changed this, but this is original. So, you know, and it works and it's cool, so we're using it. So we're gonna go ahead and mix some up epoxy, and we'll put it on the top, and we'll show you how that looks. So this is what we're gonna use right here. Fiberglass resin, there's the hardener. Here's a little cup we're gonna mix it in. It's probably not enough, so I might have to do it a couple times, but we're gonna have at it. We got our little smearing job right here, and it should be really super cool. So let's mix it up. Okay, so we have applied the epoxy. We taped up this hole down here. We just poured some in there so we can seal this hole off. Very solid. I was pretty liberal with the hardener, and I think it's gonna harden up pretty fast. And it's about 70 degrees outside too, so that's, you know, it's October 12th, people. It's a nice day. Fall's coming. Feels really nice out here, but it's about 70 and it's very comfortable, so I think this is gonna set up real good. And it smells fabulous too. I mean, I'm telling you, just stick your nose right in it and it'll just, you know, it'll change your world. So definitely do this on the outside. So anyway, so we got that done. We'll let that dry and then we'll deal with that. What else are we gonna do here? I don't know. We're gonna have to maybe address some of this a little bit. Some of these chips. These decals are a little rough, but boy, they're on there. I'll tell you what. I don't know. We might just let that ride. Just depends on how deep in the weeds you want to get into it. You know, I considered, you know, re-stenciling this thing and making it back into the original Pac-Man, but it's really, really cost prohibitive. The stencils are available, but man, they're really expensive. Several hundreds of dollars. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't know if it's really worth it. You know what I mean? And Junior Pac-Man needs a place to live too. So anyway, I kind of debated about that, but one of the viewers out there actually said, man, leave it. I think he said his exact words were, leave it the OG. Just leave it. But yeah, you know what? That's probably a pretty good idea. Plus, it's a lot easier. So, anyway, that's where we're at. So we're going to let this dry, and then we will get up there and have a look at it and see if we need to sand it, and then we'll paint it. So this is turning out to be just a smorgasbord of arcade awesomeness. As we're going along here, I just keep doing stuff. So, you know, here's this is the monitor. What do you call this thing? Shroud. That's what we're gonna call it. Obviously, we don't have the original one. This one fits on there really nice, but it was actually, the opening was actually too small, and the monitor is adjusted, I think, you know, right where it's supposed to be. So I actually trimmed this a little bit, and then I got the file and smoothed it out so it looks pretty sharp, so that everything fits, you know, the image fits in there just super sweet. So we're probably going to use that. I do have over here, this one just didn't. This one's in terrible shape, and this one just didn't fit. But it's got some plexi on it that's, I don't know how they've got it on here. It's like, it's on there. This plexi is cheap though, so I don't know if I can even get this off without destroying it, but, and it's kind of scratched up anyway, but we'll deal with that later. That's easy to just pop that on with some two-sided tape later. But the shroud thing has to fit right, so we'll show you what we got going here. We did a little work back here, just some of these little edges where they start peeling off, so we just glued that and have it all clamped, so it's going to get nice and hard. It's been about an hour. This is solid. This is pretty much hardened. Not really tacky at all to the touch, so this worked out real good. We've got the back door here too, which of course is particle board. We put some, like the maggoty up spots, we put some epoxy on there too. We're letting that harden so we can make that thing better. And then over here we have some screws. These are the ones from the actual control panel, so those will look really sharp. Those are the ones that hold the brackets, the marquee brackets in, which we also have painted. I forgot to show you those. And then of course here's the control panel, which we masked off and gave a good shot of paint over it so it will look super premium. It's looking pretty good, so I think that's going to look really nice. And see if we can find those marquee I think I know where I put them in here. I think I know where they're at. Here they are. Yeah, we actually painted these last night. They're all dry and ready to go, so they'll look really super sharp. So once we get the top of that cabinet painted and done, we'll put all that in. We'll put the marquee in. We'll put the bezel in, which is super nice, and it's gonna look really super good. A couple other little things we might do. I haven't really decided yet. This is where we're missing a piece of T-molding. We may replace it all. I don't know yet. Haven't figured that out. Or I might just, I think I might have some yellow T-molding around, like some pieces. I could just kind of sneak a piece in there, and maybe no one would know, but except for us. These are not, these are painted, someone painted those, and it doesn't bother me that much. But anyway, I could take those out and polish them because they're supposed to be silver. Get the paint off of there. I don't know if I'm that motivated just right now to do that, but so that's kind of where we're at. Just a lot of little things going on here at once. So we'll let some glue dry, let some paint dry, and we'll come back to it and start getting it back in one big, beautiful Pac-Man piece. Okay, so this is just like a pure buffet. It's more than a smorgasbord, because we got a little bit of everything here. This is something that hardly anybody ever talks about, you know. And I think a lot of people take it for granted, but if you've never seen it before, you know, it can be a little bit confusing to know what to do. But real simple. So I put a lock in here. Simple thing. These are, you know, $3-4. You know, there's nothing fancy. There's like a 7/8 inch size, and there's like an 1 1/8 or 1 1/4 size. Generally for like the coin door, the shorter ones are all you need. And they always come with this piece right here, straight. So I just stuck it in there. I mean, basically it's, you know, pretty open shut, right? And do it, and you'll see that, see the deal? It doesn't really quite work right like that, okay? Now some coin doors back here will have like a little welded piece. This one actually does, but doesn't hardly stick out at all. I don't know if you can see it here, if I can, yeah. This little gizmo right here. Some of them stick out further. Long story short, 9 times out of 10, when you just stick one of these things in, it doesn't lock up right. Either you can't turn this at all because it's too tight, or it's like this one and it's just loosey-goosey. I mean, it's locked, but it's loosey-goosey. So all we got to do is take this little piece out here and bend it a little bit, and then we'll put it back in, and we'll tweak it until it matches up and everything's cool. So we'll show you what we got going here. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of ways to do this if you got a vise or whatever, but here's like just a pair of pliers right there. We just kind of stuck it in here just like this. This kind of a deal. Get another pair of pliers, put it on there. Yeah, you know, about, it's super scientific. About like that. And give her a little bend. Okay, it bends real easy. And we're going to start right there. Okay, we're going to put that back in, and we'll see how that does. All right, so there it is. You can see that it's bent. Okay, so it's going to do this job. You can see the way we bent it. It has less space here, which is what we want, because we just need it to lock back here behind the frame. It's real straightforward, okay? So I got it on the first try, people. That's awesome. Literally, that was my first attempt. Usually, you know, you got to do it a couple times. If you do it too far, not far enough. I got it on my first shot, and it doesn't jiggle that well if I do that, but I mean, it's good. It locks up there nice and snug. So we did good. So there we got a nice coin lock on there, see? Everybody loves coin locks. They're cool. Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap this video up. You know, we're just doing stuff, so we're gonna get this thing back together, and it's gonna be a lot more enjoyable to look at when it's all in one piece and looking good. I'll finish up the little things here and there, and then the next time we see it, I know I've said this before, it's gonna look a whole lot better, and everything's gonna be basically finished. So, and then we're gonna have to see if we can find it a home. All right, well, wherever you are and whoever you are, thank you for coming along. Appreciate every single one of you. We're almost up to 300 viewers on this channel, and it blows my mind because I started with 0, and I really appreciate it. You know, people enjoy this stuff. I really enjoy watching other people, you know, and I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just having a good time, and I enjoy sharing it. If you enjoy watching it, then great. If you don't, then, you know, this isn't the channel for you, but that's cool. Take care of your people, you know, that's important. And I look forward to seeing everybody back on the arcade journey.